Hello and welcome to my presentation on Delia, Derbyshire for my Pioneer profile. It is currently the 4th of the 3rd, 2018. Derbyshire was born in Coventry, daughter of Emma and Edward Derbyshire. She had a sister who died early on. Moved to Preston, Lancashire during the Second World War for her safety. She was a very bright child, often teaching her classmates to read and write at the age of 4, stating that radio was her education. Her parents, at the age of 8, bought her a piano. She was accepted at both Oxford and Cambridge, but ultimately chose Girton College, Cambridge, after winning a scholarship to study mathematics and music. After 1 year at Cambridge, she switched to music, graduating in 1959 with a BA in mathematics and music, specializing in medieval and modern music history. Her other principal qualification was LRAM in piano forte. When asking the university about career options, she was given two: a career in deaf aids and developing deaf aids, or depth sounding. She applied for a position at Decca Records only to be told that the company did not employ women in their recording studios, so ultimately she took a position at the UN in Geneva, teaching piano to the children of the British Consul General and mathematics to the children of Canadian and South American diplomats. In November of 1960, she joined the BBC as a trainee assistant studio manager and worked on Record Review, a magazine program where critics reviewed classical musical recordings. She was assigned to the radiophonic workshop in April of 1962, where she would, for 11 years, create sound and music for almost 200 radio and television programs. Originally, when she tried to apply for the radiophonic workshop in the BBC, she was ultimately told that you don't apply for it, you're actually chosen for positions within the radiophonic workshop, which is an interesting way of getting in there. One of her first works, and the most widely known, was her 1963 electronic realization of a score by Ron Grainer for the theme tune of the Doctor Who series, one of the first television themes to be created and produced by entirely electronic means. She would not be credited on screen for her work until Doctor Who's 50th anniversary, The Day of the Doctor. Her original arrangement served as the main theme for the series for the first 17 seasons, from 1963 to 1960. However, it was slightly altered throughout those 17 seasons, only slightly, with additions of orchestrations as well as different sound effects. Apparently to her horror. She didn't like her work being changed up very much. In 1966, Derbyshire, with fellow radiophonic workshop member Brian Hodgson and EMS founder Peter Zinovieff, set up Unit Delta Plus, an organization to create and promote electronic music. So the first piece that I really liked and really wanted to find out, being a Doctor Who fan, was the original theme back in 1963, composed by Ron Grainer, and it was realised by Delia Derbyshire of the BBC Radiophonic Workshop. It's created by cutting, splicing, speeding up and slowing down individual notes on analog tape containing recordings of singular plucked strings, white noise, harmonic waveforms and test tone oscillators. The bass line is a single plucked string played at differing speeds, increasing and decreasing the rotation of tape. The melody was created by playing a keyboard attached to the oscillator banks, and the hissing sound was created by cutting tape recordings of filtered white noise. The other piece that I really liked of hers was Pot au Feu from 1969, which was composed by her. It was created by assembling various pieces from various BBC programs and also with the use of 4 tape recorders. Now, there isn't too much information on how this was recorded, other than the fact that it was recorded within the BBC radiophonic studios, but a critical analysis has stated that this is 3 minutes and 19 seconds of paranoia, virtually a rave track circa 1991 in its structure, a stuttering, pounding, teleprinter-based bassline worthy of Timbaland as the tension builds, then a moment of chaos and crisis, an alarm bell of a hook recalling the panic excitement lines so prevalent in early 90s hardcore. An example of the use of the BBC programs is that the 13 by 8 time rhythm and oscillator swoops were pulled from Way Out in Piccadilly, which was a show produced by the BBC in 1966. Where is she now? Well, she worked after finishing up at the Radiophonic Studios. She worked as a radio operator for the laying of a British gas pipeline in an art gallery and in a bookshop. In late 1974, she married David Hunter of a small town in Holswhistle, Northumberland, in an attempt to gain local acceptance. That didn't go too well for her, and she ended up ending that marriage fairly early on. She never stopped writing music and simply refused to compromise her integrity in any way. She'd, according to her second husband, she decided to sit in her room and write music constantly and would never give up, even if she was tired. In 2001, she returned to music, providing the sounds used as a source material by Pete Kember on Synchronidity Machine, taken from an unfinished machine. Sadly, she died at the age of 64 in July 2001. That is the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening.